Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Allahumma rabbi zidni ilma. Sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Ameen. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. The topic of this lecture is two square roots in xy form. An important advice: we must always be positive. You can find the link of the math website in the description where you can find the soft copy of this lecture. The two square roots in xy form. Let's understand this concept with the help of this example. Find the two square roots of -2 plus 2 root 3i and show the position of these roots on Argand diagram. In order to find the two square roots of this complex number, we need to find x plus iy, where x and y are real. And to find x plus iy, we need to suppose this as z. Z is equal to plus minus under root and -2 plus 2 root 3i. Since the question is find the two square roots, that is why we have root here and plus minus here. Now to find x plus iy, we need to replace z by x plus iy. So by replacing z by x plus iy into this equation, we have this equation. Now we need to remove this root. In order to remove this root, we have to square on both sides. So by squaring on both sides, we have this equation. Now we need to expand this expansion. This is the expanded form of this expansion. As we all know, I square is -1, therefore this entire thing will become -y square. Now we need to compare real part with the real part and imaginary with imaginary part. So by comparing real with real, we have this equation, and by comparing imaginary with imaginary, we have this equation. From this equation, we can find the value of y, which is root 3 upon x. Finally, we have two equations, equation 1, equation 2. We just need to solve these two equations simultaneously for the values of x and y. So by substituting this value of y into this equation, we have this equation. Now we just need to solve this equation for the values of x. When we will simplify this, we'll get -3 upon x square. And by taking LCM, we have this equation. By breaking the middle term, we have two values of x square, two factors, x square plus 3, x square -1. Since x is real, so we have to ignore this value of x. And from this equation, we will find two values of x, and those values of x are plus -1. Now by substituting these values of x one by one into this equation, we can get the two values of y. Now we just need to substitute these values of x and y into this equation, x plus iy. So x is 1, y is root 3, so this is the first square root, and when x is -1, y is minus root 3, therefore this is the second square root. Hence, these are two square roots of this complex number. You can check the solution again. Hence, the two square roots of this complex number are 1 plus root 3i and -1 minus root 3i. The second part of this question is show the position of these roots on Argand diagram. This is very simple. We just need to sketch these two on Argand diagram. So this is root 3 and this is 1. Root 3 is approximately 1.7. So this is root 3 and this is minus root 3. So this is the first root, this root, 1 plus root 3i. And the second root must be in the opposite quadrant. The opposite quadrant of this is third quadrant because of negative sign. So the second root must be in third quadrant because the first root is in the first quadrant. See, the two square roots are in opposite quadrants, and this fact is used while finding the square roots in r e I theta form. We will use this fact while finding two square roots in this form in the next lecture, inshallah. So please check the solution again. This is the past paper question. Showing your working, find the two square roots of the complex number. Give your answer in this form. So this is the first step. let z be plus minus under root 1 minus 2 root 6i. Now replace z by x plus iy. So we have 1 minus 2 root 6i. In order to remove this root, we need to square on both sides. So by squaring on both sides, we have 1 minus 2 root 6i. Now we need to expand this expansion. X square minus y square plus 2xyi is equal to 1 minus 2 root 6i. Now we just need to equate real part with the real part and imaginary part with the imaginary part. So x square minus y square is equal to 1 and 2xy is minus 2 root 6. From this equation we can either find x or y. So minus root 6 over x. Now we just need to solve this equation and this equation for the values of x and y. So by substituting this y here, we have this equation. Now you just need to solve this equation yourself and get the two values of x. This is the fair solution. See, this is the first step. You have to suppose this thing as z plus minus under root. Now replace this by x plus iy square, or you can square here. It's your choice. You can either replace this by x plus iy and then square, squaring on both sides, or you can directly square on both sides and then replace this by x plus iy whole square. It's your choice. Now by expanding this, we have this equation, and by comparing the real part with the real part and imaginary part with the imaginary part, we have two equations. By solving these two equations, we have two values of x. Since x is real, so we have to ignore this negative value. So these are two values of x. By substituting these two values of x into this equation, we have these two values of y. Now we just need to substitute these values of x and y into this complex number. So x is root 3, y is minus root 2, x is minus root 3 and y is root 2. So these are two required square roots of this complex number. You can check the solution again. I hope this lecture will help you to understand how to find two square roots in XY form. Good luck and Allah Hafiz.